do is just walk along the path and a little bit off, and probably be out, just depending on how we do as far as temperature, for, we can do it for an hour or two, just sort of depending. We'll see how we do and how everyone's going. So, basically, as far as the geology of this area, how many of you have any background in geology? Have ever taken a class or had any kind of class? Okay, okay, great. So what do you know about the geology of the La Quinta area? Do we have volcanoes?
No.
Not that I know of.
Not yet.
Not yet. We're
Okay.
working on it, yeah.
We don't have volcanoes, but basically, I guess what is always interesting is how does geology connect with everything else? And certainly the geology, we're taking a look at what are the rock types that are the basis of all of the rocks that are around us, and also what are the processes that have taken place in the case of geology over millions and millions of years to create the landscape that is our spectacular backdrop. So if I said to you, how were the Santa Rosa Mountains formed? And these are Santa Rosa Mountains. So we have a large area of mountains called the Santa Rosas, and those are joined with, in terms of our area, the San Jacinto Mountains, which are the mountain range behind Palm Springs, basically. And those together form the northernmost part of what's called the Peninsular Range, and that's a range of mountains that goes all the way down from here into the peninsula of Baja. And I have this, I meant to bring a bigger map, but I have just a small kind of overview graphic, and I'm just going to probably walk around with this so I can kind of point it out for you. Basically what this shows is an overview, and I know it's small, but here's of course the Pacific Ocean and the Channel Islands and Los Angeles area right here, and you can see this big blue blob right here is the Salton Sea. I'll pass it around in a minute. And the Coachella Valley, and this is an aerial image just showing the topography, so you don't see anything else. So here is the what's called the Peninsular Range of mountains, which you can see is basically starting, here's the pass, and this would be Mount San Jacinto. So there's a range of mountains starting that ultimately goes down into the Baja Peninsula. On the north side of the Banning Pass, we have another group of mountains, starting with the San Bernardino Mountains and Mount San Gorgonio, our highest peak, which forms the Transverse Range. Anybody heard of the Transverse Range? Mm-hmm. And why is it called the Transverse Range? I guess it
goes a different direction.
Yeah, it transverses this is the Transverse Range right here. It goes right across and actually creates sort of the, not exactly, I mean, I guess it depends on Southern California. Northern California would like Southern California to stop there, I suppose, but basically the Transverse Range goes across the state. So you have the Peninsular Range, the Transverse Range, and ultimately that connects with the Sierra Nevada, which of course is a large range that starts in California and goes north through the middle of the state, or more or less through the eastern middle of the state. So I guess in taking a look at this, though, the other mountain range that is relevant in a big picture way to the Coachella Valley, to La Quinta, is the what's called the Little San Bernardino Mountains, which we can't see from here, but those mountains way in the distance, or Joshua Tree National Park, are the Little San Bernardino Mountains. And of course, having that big mountain range on one side and this big mountain range on the other, we have the Coachella Valley in the middle. So we have a very significant geological feature in the Coachella Valley. Any guesses? What's the big, most significant feature you might say in our area in terms of geology?
San Andreas Fault.
Right. The aquifer is very important. The San Andreas Fault is very important. And actually both of those are good answers. So we have a very significant element is the San Andreas Fault.